Hello everyone, welcome to PRATHAM Test Prep YouTube channel. I am Ashish Bhargav and welcome to another episode of daily news analysis that we do from Monday to Friday at sharp 11:30 am. In this newspaper analysis, we discuss about all the important news from all major newspaper that we covered in the session. And apart from that, we also covered the PIB section also. PIB section, which means Press Information Bureau. So most of the initiative which is taken by the government of India, that is published on the PIB, which is very important, like any dates, any state initiative. So if you are following the Twitter on PIB, that is Press Information Bureau, that is good for you. If any students are following, if you are not doing, then you can just need to watch this session. Majorly we covered the Hindu and Indian Express. The reason behind the most of the questions, they are extracted from the Hindu and Indian Express newspaper. Moving further, as we know that in daily newspaper analysis, we discuss about all the 360-degree subjects. Any subject, like if you talk about international relation, if you talk about economy, if you talk about sports, science and tech, person and news, and summits and conference, miscellaneous and national news. So as we know that in daily newspaper analysis, we discussed Supreme Court verdict also. Supreme Court verdict, any amendments, a bill. So that is also need to be learned, especially for the students who are preparing for CLAT, LSAT, AILET, or different law entrance exam. And apart from that, we also discuss about state initiative also. State initiative, which means that I am trying to convey state initiative, which means any state which is initiated very first time. Then we discuss about these things also in this session. So I welcome again each and everyone here, and if you are new in this channel, please subscribe the channel as well and share to your friends and family group. So it's not confined to the students only, because a newspaper reading, that is very essential for the that makes you very aware citizen of our country. So try to follow these things, like this is very, very important. And one more thing is that if your voice is high, only a few people will hear. If your thought is high, then many people will listen. And to inculcate this thought process, what you need to develop to read the newspaper. And just one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. That is quote of Dalai Lama. And study hard, no matter if it seems impossible, no matter if it takes time, no matter if you have to up all night. Just remember that the feeling of success is the best thing in entire world. So we have taken initiative of the questions of the day also. And here is the very first news. Just wait for a second. So first we have to understand that what is new delimitation exercise by Assam. So what is the work of delimitation commission? So basically delimitation commission basically work for demarcation the boundary of electoral boundary. Demarcation of electoral boundary. And the Election Commission of India decision to merely reorient parliamentary and assembly constituency without increasing their number was opposed by some political leaders and supported by the government. In this article, we sorry for this. We have to understand first what is the work of delimitation exercise. So delimitation commission basically is for the जिसमें कि आपको इलेक्टोरल बाउंड्री को फिक्स करनी होती है. सो वन थिंग दैट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड इज दैट कि जो आपके एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव बाउंड्रीज होती हैं दैट इज डिफरेंट एंड द इलेक्टोरल बाउंड्रीज दैट इज क्वाइट डिफरेंट, लाइक विच कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली दैट यू आर coming. And what is delimitation? So delimitation is the process of redrawing boundary of Lok Sabha and state assembly constituencies. So in short, that we need to understand that the main work of delimitation is that we can say that process of redrawing boundaries of Lok Sabha and we can say state assembly election. state assembly election, right? So based on a recent census to ensure each seat has an almost equal number of voters. So it is ideally carried out every few years after a census by an independent delimitation commission. How many members is in delimitation commission we will discuss also. So what is the main bone of contention? So Assam remerged 4 districts with the one they were carved out 4 days after the election commission of India. जब न्यू डिस्ट्रिक्ट की फॉर्मेशन होती है तो डिलिमिटेशन कमीशन उसके एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव बाउंड्री को और इलेक्ट्रल बाउंड्री को सेपरेट करता है, राइट. सो ECI ने इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया ने नोटिफाइड किया क्योंकि आसाम में 4 न्यू डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स बनने वाले हैं. तो डिलिमिटेशन ऑफ असेंबली एंड पार्लियामेंट्री कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी ने ऑन December 27 को मेनी वेलकम द ECI डिसीजन बट क्वेश्चन द यूज ऑफ 2001 सेंसस फिगर्स फॉर द readjustment of the constituent and all legal bid to make Muslims less politically relevant. तो इसमें representation of people's act what clearly says that delimitation panels were set up of thrice. First time it was in 1952 and 1962 and 1972. Regularly before the exercise was suspended in 1976. 3 बार इसकी delimitation commission की panels already बैठी हुई हैं and it was suspended in 1976 in the view of family planning programs in the states. And the last commission was set up in 2002, but before it exercise was completed in 2008. So इस exercise में imminent section 8 में representation of people's act में ये बताया गया 1950 the ECI for initiating delimitation the use of 2001 census data and have raised hackles. And section 8A mention करता है कि हमारा कि like किस allow reorientation and rules out any changes in total number of parliamentary and assembly constituency. So what is the point if assembly seats are not increased? तो that is by यहाँ पे कांग्रेस लीडर ने यहाँ पे देवव्रत सैकारिया said that basing delimitation commission of 2001 census would be unjust. So census के rules को हमें follow करना होगा and it says that कि वो census में जो चीज़ें दी हुई है that need to be changed. So what is the government takes? असम के चीफ मिनिस्टर कौन है अभी एट प्रेजेंट है हमारे हेमंत बिस्वा शर्मा एंड हु सेड दैट डिलिमिटेशन कैन प्रोवाइड द safeguard that the NRC and Assam Accord of 1985 which envisaged but failed, right? So basically the despite constituent delimitation commission in 2020 or ECI decision to use 2001 census data citing the section 8 of RPA Act 1950. So we have to understand one more thing is that delimitation which means that act of process of fixing limit of boundaries of territorial constituency in a country. And कमीशन में कितने लोग होते हैं डिलिमिटेशन कमीशन में? फर्स्ट कंसिस्ट ऑफ चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर CEC एंड 2 जजेस ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट, 2 जजेस ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट and High Court of India. So under Article 82 of the Constitution, Parliament enacts a delimitation act after every census, and after the act comes into force, Center constitutes a delimitation commission. Because population is the basis of demarcation, main as per depends like we can say UP में सबसे ज़्यादा constituent assembly आपको मिलेंगी वहाँ पे. Reason behind because many districts, more than 70 districts in Uttar Pradesh. So each constituency should ideally also be a geographically compact area with administrative units, facilities of communication and public conveyance. No assembly constituency is to extend to more than one parliamentary constituency. So make sure कोई भी constituent assembly जो होंगी assembly को होंगी that means not more than one parliamentary constituency को belong नहीं करेगी. Process क्या होता है? Delimitation of constituency in a district is done starting from north to northwest and preceding a zigzag manner to and southern side. Next news is again remote voting machine. So how the election commission proposes to conduct remote voting for domestic migrants. Recently, Election Commission of India ने asked their political parties to attend on a January 16 a demonetisation of a prototype remote voting machine which is called RVM. Remote voting machine, RVM. जैसा EVM था electronic voting machine, so similarly that we need to understand that RVM, remote voting machine, that would help migrant workers cast their vote for elections in their home constituencies from polling station in sites in which they work. Because migrant laborers having main issue is that because they most of the time they travel from one state to another state, right? So what the Election Commission of India is ambition कि जो migrant workers हैं दूसरे states में they can cast their vote also. So according to the Election Commission, the one sorry for the delay. One reason was okay. Sorry for the delay. So we were discussing about, according to the Election Commission, one reason was internal migration. Many migrants prefer to retain the voter ID of their home constituency over registering voters in the constituency they ordinarily reside and in an often and to unable to travel home duration election. So RVM is क्या है? Basically is a standalone non-networked machine. An Election Commission has said in a concept note, instead of a paper ballot sheet, the RVM will have a dynamic ballot display that can change the selection of different constituency and VVPAT, which can as a part of system, and they can verify their votes as well. Now, process of climate change. So climate change is the threat of food security. There is short articles about the climate change over there. So whether in the form of droughts, floods and hurricane, climate change impact every level of food production. But how? Because food production, food security and climate change are intimately linked, and we can say that it is detrimental for the country's economic and health system. Third news is the Supreme Court majority ruling finds no flaw in 2016 demonetization process. Demonetization, which means that in the particular country that we can say that currency note that would be not as a legal tender. So what does it mean the word is legal tender? Legal tender, which means that in a form of debt, that person can deny this in a territory of the country. That is known to be a legal tender. I think you must have heard that news on November 2016 that PM Modi said like कि 2000 के नोट लीगल टेंडर नहीं होंगे. लीगल टेंडर मतलब इन अ फॉर्म ऑफ डेट पर्सन कैन डिनाई दिस. सो 4 जजेस ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बेंच ऑफ द सुप्रीम कोर्ट उन्होंने इस फ्लॉ दी यूनियन गवर्नमेंट को प्रोसेस ऑफ डिमोनेटाइज 500 and 1000 बैंक नोट थ्रू गैजेट नोटिफिकेशन इज श्योर्ड ऑन नवंबर 8 2016 को किया था उन्होंने. इसमें जो वुमेन जज थी दैट इज द 5 मेंबर बेंच में, दैट इज जस्टिस BV नागरत्ता, ये नाम याद रखनी है, disagreed with the majority saying that government notification is issued under section 26(2) clause of RBI Act that was unlawful. बाद में से सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने रूल किया and says that कि the RBI Act does not envisage initiation of demonetization of bank notes by the central subsection of 2 of the section 26 of the Act. So that contemplates demonetization of bank notes at the instance of Central Board of Reserve Bank of India. So there are many pros and cons. There are many like consequences of the we can say demonetization, as we know that, because but RBI says in completely different, and board का जो opinion था that was in a negative. So the majority judgment of Supreme Court which says that extensively the documents placed on the record by the government to conclude that Central Board of Reserve Bank of India was very much in the loop before recommending demonetization. So until unless there is no outcome is there, but Supreme Court ruled that there is no flaw of rules that was violate the rules of RBI and as well as on that the present ruling government. Manufacturing ends in 2020 on a high note. So India manufacturing sector records its sharpest upstick in output in 13 months in December 2020, with the new orders rising in fastest pace February 2021 through. So what is manufacturing? Manufacturing, as we know, that many developed countries have, as we know, that our economy is having a three sector, which is primary and then secondary sector, and here it is tertiary sector. Primary sector is mainly agriculture, secondary sector is manufacturing sector, and tertiary sector that we can say that is a service sector, like teaching, like we can say telephone service, call center, that comes under tertiary sector. जितने भी डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज हैं, यू विल सी दे आर गुड एट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर. पूरे वर्ल्ड के लोग आईफोन यूज़ करेंगे, बट मैन्युफैक्चर कौन करेगा? चाइना, राइट? सो बट वाई इंडिया इज लैगिंग बिहाइंड इन टर्म्स ऑफ इकोनॉमी? बिकॉज ऑफ वी आर not good in the terms of secondary sector. We are good in primary sector as well, because 53% of the population that depends on the agricultural land. The problem is that there is a disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment, which means that more than required. There are no number of people that is required. And tertiary sector, that we are somehow at the time of 1991 LPG reforms, which is liberalization, globalization, privatization and globalization, that we are doing pretty well in terms of service sector, but we are lagging behind in secondary sector. So there was an, as we can see in this Global India Manufacturing Purchasing Manager Index, and what exactly is Purchasing Manager Index is? So PMI, which is we can say Purchasing Manager Index, it is survey based measure the asks of respondents about change in their perception of key business variables as compared with the previous months. It is an index of prevailing direction of economic trends in the manufacturing and service sector. Purpose क्या है PMI का? To provide information about current and future business condition to company decision makers, analysts and investors. And it is calculated separately for manufacturing and service sector. Then a composite index is also constructed. इसका PMI का numbers दो होते हैं, that is from 0 to 100. So if the PMI of the previous month is higher than the PMI of current month, it represents the economy is contracting. So PMI को compile कौन करता है? IHS Markit for more than 40 economies worldwide. Make sure Purchasing Manager Index that was compiled by IHS Markit for more than 40 economies worldwide. तो IHS Markit है क्या ये? That's a global leader in information analysts and solution for the major industries and market that drive economic worldwide. And IHS Markit is a part of S&P Global. So as the official data of industrial output, manufacturing and gross domestic product, growth comes much later, and PMI helps to make informed decision at an earlier stage. Moving further is talking about online games must register with a self-regulatory body, say draft rules. And we discussed, I already told you we had discussed about any draft, any rules, any amendments also. So any games that allow wagering on its outcome is effectively is no-go area, and that's welcoming to publishing the draft amendments. And All India Gaming Federation believes that is a first step for comprehensive regulation. And the Electronic and Information Technology Minister on Monday that says that the amending to bring on the online gaming also. Draft को form किया गया Parliament में, released by the IT Ministry on online gaming is now open for public consultation. And the proposal aims to bring online gaming within the ambit of Information Technology Guidelines, Digital Media Ethics Code 2021. So still now it is not clear that if games recognized in codes as games of skill will continue to be able to operate under this policy. And this model is similar to the rules in place of digital news sites and streaming service under the IT rules. So we have to understand that what exactly the work of All India Gaming Federation, and what is All India Gaming Federation is doing this. So we can say that over the size of India online gaming, so revenue of India mobile gaming industry is expected to USD 1.5 billion in 2020, and that was estimated each USD 5 billion 2025. And CAGR क्या कहते हैं? 38% growth हुई है 2017 से 2020 as opposed to 8% in China and 10% in the US. So India percentage of new paying users is gaming has been fastest growing, and report of FICCF Federation of India Chambers of Commerce and Industry, उन्होंने ये बताया कि रेवेन्यू जो ग्रो होगी इंडिया की 26% इन इंडिया विद द नंबर ऑफ पेइंग गेमर्स इंक्रीजिंग टू 17% फ्रॉम 80 million in 2020 95 million in 2021. Next article is talking about coffee export rose almost 2% to 4 lakh tons in 2020. So we have to understand what is the present status of coffee production in India. So India is among 10 coffee production countries with about 3% of global output in 2020. Make sure that there are two varieties of coffee. Coffee की दो varieties होती हैं, as we are aware about Arabica and Robusta. So sometimes they will ask to you like Arabica and Robusta is a type of what type of like we can say rice type of millets type of coffee. So India produced two types of coffee, Arabica and Robusta. So Arabica is a higher market value than Robusta coffee due to its mild aromatic flavor. जैसे climatic condition क्या होती है, coffee plants require hot and humid climate and temperature varying between 15 degree to 28 degrees centigrade and rainfall from 150 to 250 degrees centigrade. It does not tolerate frost, snowfall, high temperature above 30 degrees centigrade and a strong sunshine. It generally grow under shady tree. So coffee is largely produced in southern part of India. Make sure it's not only produced in the southern part of India, it's largely produced in the southern part of India. And Karnataka is the largest producer according to about 70% of total coffee production in India. So Karnataka is the largest producer of coffee in our country, and we can say coffee is mainly produced in Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Odisha. So according to FAO, which is Food and Agriculture Organization statistics, India is the 8th largest exporter of coffee. The position of India in the world is 8th exporter by coffee by volume. So what is the Coffee Board of India? Coffee Board is a statutory organization which is constituted under Section 4 of the Coffee Act 1942 and function under administrative control of Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So Coffee Board comes under Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and the board is mainly focusing on its activities in the area of research, extension, development, market intelligence. इसके headquarters हैं कहाँ पे? बेंगलुरु में. And board has a central coffee research institute at Bangalore, which is Karnataka. Towards India present footprint, so in this we have to understand like at the Constitution Day celebration organized by the Supreme Court in November 2020, President Draupadi Murmu ने shared किया snippet for the journey with the audience. तो बेसिकली इसमें प्रिजन्स एक्ट्स के बारे में अभी बातें चल रही है. until unless there is no outcomes we will not discuss. Next is India toy is stories still in the making. So July 2022 में अनाउंस किया गया था कि इंडिया एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ टॉयज सर्ज फ्रॉम रुपीज 300 to 400 crore to 2600 crore. So what is India toy stories? So Make in India initiative that was yielded many positive results. Imports toys of 70% in last 3 years. Export has jumped to 61% over the same period. Toy industry, or we can say MSME industry, that is good for the rural economy, and if the rural economy is doing pretty well, so obviously it's impacted on the district economy, and we can say is district economy and as well as state and as well as central economy. So presently क्या है कि India toys industry is only 0.5% of the global industry size, indicating a large potential growth opportunity. So domestic toy demand forecasted to grow 10% to 15%, global average of 5%. So high growth potential of India can export of plastic toys and board games in the US, EU, which is European Union, and Middle East among the markets. Next article is talking about protecting groundwater through safe sanitation. So a priority for a sustainable future, groundwater depletion in India is a major concern because it's a primary source of drinking water. And some of the main cause of groundwater depletion including over extraction of groundwater for irrigation, urbanization and climate change. So Central Groundwater Board ने इंडिया में approximately ये बताया कि 70% of total water used in India is groundwater sources. Because for the irrigation of plant that is also requires the groundwater. So that is the main cause, and we can say Central Groundwater Board ने also estimate कि 25% of country total groundwater extraction and it's unsustainable, meaning that it is being extracted at a faster rate that it can be replenished. And groundwater depletion is a, we can say, India is a serious problem that needs to be addressed through sustainable water management practice such as improved irrigation techniques and conservation efforts. Here the next news: exporting number of Indian illegal migrants came to Austria. So what's your homework? What exactly you need to do? What is the, who is the, our foreign minister is S. Jaishankar, and we can say who is the Austria prime minister or president. That's your homework, what you need to do it, and let me know in the comment section if you got to know. And now it's time to questions of the day. And questions of the day is very important, as we know that, because that gives you an immense idea like how you need to solve the questions, right? And how you need to keep an eye on that MCQ, because I told you in couple of times, like having gathering information and solving question, they are two different things. Sometimes you have ample amount of knowledge about the particular topic, but you are unable to solve the questions because you are trapped in such kind of dilemma. And make sure that you, whether you know or don't know about the answer, please try to attempt the question's answer, so that you can give an idea, okay, you are doing the same mistake and you need to avoid this, right? Okay, here's the first question: with reference to lok adalats, which of the following statement is correct? Make sure you have to mention the directive word. Sometimes it will mention incorrect word, and the students in a very hurry manner they are solving the questions before reading the statements. तो मेक श्योर वंस यू गो फॉर द टीचर, तो क्या करता है, जब आपकी दर्जी के पास जाते हो तो वो सिलाई करने से पहले आपकी वो मेजरमेंट करता है. Take and pause for the 5 seconds and think about what the demand of the questions. What is asking? What is the main directive word? Is asking about correct statement. So statement first is lok adalats have a jurisdiction to settle the matter at pre-litigative stage and not those matters pending before any court. Option second says lok adalats have no jurisdiction in respect of any case or matter relating to an offence or not compoundable under any law. Third one say every lok adalat consists of either serving or retired judicial officers only and not any other person. None of the statement given above is correct one. I am waiting for your consent, student. Please try to give the answer. You will see many times in your actual exam that you are not sure about the, यार ये तो क्वेश्चंस कितने अजीब से आ गए, ये तो कभी के टीचर्स ने करवाया ही नहीं, ठीक है? तो आपको वहाँ पे यू आर बाउंड टू फॉलो दिस, बिकॉज दिस नॉट अ सीबीएसई बोर्ड एग्जाम जहाँ पे आपको की लिख के बतानी होती है. एमसीक्यू से वहाँ पे आपको अटेम्प्ट वहाँ पे रिस्क लेनी पड़ेगी. सो बिकॉज वहाँ पे सारे क्वेश्चंस के कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स में सारे क्वेश्चंस के आंसर कभी कट ऑफ 100 आउट ऑफ 100 नहीं होती है. सो मेक श्योर कि आपको उसमें अटेम्प्ट करने होंगे. सो इसके आंसर क्या है हमारे? बी ऑप्शन है. सो लोक अदालत है क्या? इज अ फॉरम वेयर केसेस और डिस्प्यूट्स विच आर पेंडिंग इन अ कोर्ट or which are pre-litigation stage, not yet before a court, are comprised of settled in amicable manner. The institution of lok adalat has been given a statutory status under the Legal Service Authority (NALSA), जिसे हम कहते हैं National Legal Service Authority (NALSA) NALSA Act 1987. And lok adalat shall have no jurisdiction in respect of any case or matter relating to an offence not compoundable under any law. In other words, we can say offences which are not compoundable under any law fall outside the purview of lok adalat. So जितने भी लोक अदालत होते हैं organized for an area shall consist such members of serving for retired judicial officers and other persons, or an area may be specified by the agency organizing such lok adalat. So generally a lok adalat consists of judicial officers and the chairman and the lawyer, which is advocate, and a social worker as a member. Second news which we have discussed in the second MCQ: non-nuclear agreement is a bilateral agreement. Bilateral and trilateral difference. Trilateral, which is 3 countries involving, and quadrilateral, which is 4 countries. As we know, that is a quad. So quad having the 4 countries. One is USA, Australia, Japan, and India. So similarly, bilateral, which is 2 countries. So US, Russia, India and Pakistan, India and United States, India and China. You have seen many times in the newspaper articles about, and I have already discussed about in daily newspaper analysis about non-nuclear aggressions and agreement about the 2 countries. So it's an agreement of India and Pakistan. So B is the right answer. So non-nuclear aggression agreement is bilateral and nuclear weapons control treaty between two South Asian states, India and Pakistan, on the reduction of nuclear arms and pledge not to attack or assist foreign powers to attack on each nuclear installation and facilities. And the treaty barred the signatory of carry out a surprise attack or an assist foreign powers to each nuclear installation and facility. The treaty provides confidence building security measures environment and refrain each party from undertaking, encouraging and participating in directly or indirectly. इसको स्टार्ट किया गया था जनवरी 1992 में. So how you will learn this after LPG reforms, which is liberalization, privatization and globalization. Option B, yeah, Muhammad Akram Ali, option B. Yeah, B was the correct answer, Muhammad. Well done. India and Pakistan have annually exchanged list of their respective military and civilian nuclear related facilities. The Lancet Global Health often seen in news is option A, annual report published by WHO, World Health Organization, leading journal in global health, Index of Global Health published by World Economic Forum and Lancet Group, recurring report published by Lancet Group in the Netherlands focusing on the rare disease. Take your time and try to solve. So B is the again right answer. So as a leading journal in global health, Lancet Global Health delivers essential original research, candid commentary, correspondence and commission focusing on disadvantaged population with the preference of these topics: reproductive, maternal, neonatal child and adolescent health, infectious disease including neglected tropic disease, non-communicable disease, mental health and global health, workforce, health system, surgery and health policy. Moving to the next one, Losar festival is celebrated in which of one of the following state? Gujarat, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, none of the above. So Losar festival is in Tibetan. Yeah, PM extended to the greeting the occasion of Losar festival in the beginning of Tibetan New Year. It consists of the offering of prayers, dances and songs in the honor of ibex and pilgrimage of Mount Kailash. So Losar is the Tibetan word of New Year. Ladakhi Buddhists make a religious offering before their deities in the domestic shrines or the gompas, and it was developed in the pre-Buddhist era. And the last question of the today's session: which of the following states, union territories have the highest percentage of forest area to the total geographical area? Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, Lakshadweep and Madhya Pradesh. So how you will eliminate, because we are, as we know that states and UT asking. So here is an Arunachal is a state, Madhya Pradesh is also a state, and there are one UT only, Lakshadweep. Ishita is option about D option. Highest percent of total forest area of geographical area. Yeah, C is the right answer. So Union Territory of Lakshadweep has an highest forest cover of around 90%, and among the state Mizoram has the highest forest cover of 85.41%. Make sure, Ishita, like the question is, like we can say forest cover and forest area, they're two different things. Forest cover, which means that shadow area is also counted. So that's why we say Lakshadweep. Otherwise, your answer would be MP is correct one if you talk about only forest area. So not forest cover. So there are two different things. There is forest cover and forest area. That's why I told you that read the questions carefully for the 3 to 4 seconds. Then you need to give the answers. So this is all about the session, student. And Ishita and Akram, Muhammad Akram is given the right answer also. And you guys have participated. If you have any question, please let me know in the comment section. And in each day that we discuss about newspaper analysis is on Monday to Friday at sharp 11:30 a.m. Right? And if you have any question, please let me know in the comment section after the session as well. Thank you so much for joining with us. Stay tuned. अपना ख्याल रखें. We'll meet you tomorrow at the same time at 11:30 a.m. Thank you so much for joining with us. If you are new in this channel, please subscribe the channel as well. And do not forget to press the bell icon so that you will get the notification of all the our Pratham Test Prep mentors. Thank you so much. Bye-bye and take care once again.